Hello again, family. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of our series, Restoration Stories. And we are here with none other than
Mavis Foster.
Mavis F. Milda Foster. That's a strong name you have, Mr. Foster. Thank you so much for welcoming us in your home. We really appreciate it. I know it has been a long time since I've been to church, since the lockdown. How's that been for you, not being able to?
I just listen to the services on a Saturday. Yeah, right. Services right through and on a Sunday.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So you're Mavis F. Milda Foster.
Yes.
Tell us about yourself, your family. You have children.
I was born in the parish of Manchester.
Right.
I grew up with grandparents. My grandmother was a Christian.
Right.
You know, we have to be at church and Sunday school.
Right.
I left the country when I was about 17.
17. Left the country, Manchester. Yes.
And lived in Village Town with a family member.
Right.
Still attending church. I went to St. George's Anglican Church on East Street.
Okay.
I lived there for a long time, and then afterward I was, after visiting for a long time,
Right.
I was confirmed.
You're confirmed.
Yes.
Okay.
So that was my church.
Okay.
After years, after living there, I lived in Harborview.
Right.
That was about 1980 or 79.
Right. So you started in Manchester, grew up with grandparents. Your grandmother was saved, you say? Went to church regularly, came to Kingston,
Yes.
got involved in St. George's, and you're confirmed in an Anglican church.
Yes.
As far as you knew at that point, you were okay with God. You're fine.
No, yes, I was okay, but there was a weight on me.
A heaviness.
There was a conscience saying something to me.
Right.
Sometimes I would sit back when everyone goes up for communion.
Right.
Or sometimes I would go up, but I was feeling heavy.
Right.
Or some communion Sundays,
Right.
I wouldn't go to church at all.
Right. Right. And you have children? How many children do you have?
I have
the names?
3 children.
Right.
Sharon, Sandra, Andrea, who is known as Sandy.
Sandy, yes. We all know. Most of them, my generation know Sandy more. I know Sandra. Not so much Sharon, but Sharon, Sandra, and Sandy.
And the 3 of them are saved.
Right. Great. And I grew up knowing you as a florist. So you love flowers and you work with flowers, right?
Yes, I was trained at florist at Marilyn's Flower Shop, Safari Road in
Yes.
Kingston.
Right.
I was trained there and employed there.
Mm-hmm.
And after she sold the boat,
Mm-hmm.
I went to work at every weekend.
Right.
And sometimes I work privately, my day off or my weekend,
Mm-hmm.
with other florists. Sometimes they have weddings or functions in other parts of Jamaica, sometimes Ucherias.
So take it all over.
Yeah, all over, yes.
Right.
All
Nice.
over.
And I'm sure you're grateful to God.
Church. I started to dress the church.
Is that just the church?
Yes.
I remember there was nice flowers on the platform.
Yes.
Yes.
And I did weddings for many of our sisters around this church.
Right. Nice. I'm sure you have some fond memories of those weddings and all that
And
stuff.
funerals.
And funerals.
Yes.
Yes. All right. Good stuff. Thank you so much, Ms. Foster again. So, you mentioned, say you are confirmed, but you know there's something uncomfortable. There's something that wasn't right, and you got saved one day. Tell us about the whole crusade. What happened at the crusade?
Yes. I wasn't keen on going to the crusade.
Right.
My little daughter Sandra,
Mm-hmm.
she went. The crusade started on a Sunday and she went on every evening. On the Wednesday night she came back to say she got saved. I didn't know what was saved, but I was.
That's strange, right?
Yes, strange, but I was in my church. But she was down on the Friday, last evening night of the crusade. I said, let me go.
Mm-hmm.
After the preaching, the preacher asked that whoever wanted to give their lives to Christ, they could stand.
Mm-hmm.
Stand. I don't know, but I thought I was okay, but I just stand up.
Right.
I stood up, and it was almost when the preacher was finished, so I had a prayer,
Mm-hmm.
the hymn, singing, and then the preacher asked that all those who stood up should come to the altar.
I believe that this was Emmanuel Richardson. if you
Emmanuel
recall.
Richards, yes.
Yes.
For a moment I said it doesn't make sense. I am a Christian, and then I have my church. I was going.
Happy church, all right.
Yes, I was sitting at the back, so I was going to the back door. And this lady came up and her name is Mrs. Thompson. Brother Richard Thompson's mother. Who said, didn't you to that when the teacher did the choir? I said, yes, but I am a church already. She said, it doesn't matter. Come. And she took me down to the part where the council and the rest of the people.
Right.
And early in the morning, the other morning, she was at my door.
At your door.
Yes, and she
Wow.
spoke to me, and from that on, she encouraged me.
Wow.
And I used to go back and forth. Sometimes I am at this church, sometimes I am at my other church, until I just stopped going
Right.
to
So,
St. George's and start to come to down here.
how about you?
After this, have this, the classes for young believers,
Yes.
I went to the class and I was baptized.
Baptized. I think you said you're baptized and came to fellowship 1982.
1982.
Right, that's enough years ago.
Yes, yes.
Praise Jesus, praise Jesus.
Yes.
Right, and Miss Thompson played a key role in the development in
She's
the
really a
disciple.
disciple.
Right.
She's a disciple. We have to take a leaf from that. She came and
Yes.
she encouraged
Yes.
and she stretched her hand and she tried, want to know how you manage, and she helped in every week.
Yes.
Yes.
What's Christianity like for you back in those days? Was it easy, just smooth, no problems at all?
No,
What's it like?
you have the ups and downs,
Right.
and downs. Thank God for the sisters. They had some sisters around the church that was really encouraging.
Right,
You think of Sister Thompson, Sister Martin, Sister
Right.
Rubens.
right.
There was a time when my sister lived in Waltham Park.
Yes.
She has 3 daughters and 2 little grandsons, 5 of them.
5.
And she died of cancer. They all came to live here at my house. And I have my 3 children here, and I'm
Yes.
single here.
So that's 8.
Yes,
8 children, single parents.
yes. I really was hitting alone.
Yes.
I questioned God.
Yes.
How could God, knowing that I am a single parent with 3 children,
Yes.
2 were going to Sandy went to university, Sandy went to class.
Yes.
And then these children, 5 of them, you have to say 5.
Yes.
And God took my sister, because God couldn't spare her and know that there's no one else. They said they wouldn't go nowhere else but here.
Right.
And
So at that point in time, you said,
I didn't tell you where I
Yes.
wasn't. I just come to church or just went through the motions.
yes,
And I think one of the sisters saw it,
yes,
Sister Martin. And I thank God for her. I learned from her that we must be our brother's keeper.
yes,
We must be kind,
yes,
and whatever the right hand knows, do not let the left hand know it.
right,
She was a nurse, but then she, every month, there was a little
envelope,
thing.
right,
We didn't come in church and call them to do it right around here.
right,
I learned from that. And she encouraged me. She says, God never make a mistake.
mm.
Yes, and I didn't really,
Right. Was it
I
hard?
listened to her, but I couldn't fathom it.
Was it hard to understand because were you angry with God? Were you wondering God why
Yes,
you didn't
I wonder, and sometimes
Right.
other people say, but God didn't tell you to take them on. I
Yes.
said, I didn't take them on. They came right here after the death of their mother, and there was no way I could put them on, but God should know better.
Yes.
But I thank God for the sisters. They encouraged me. God never make a mistake.
Yes.
And she said, you may live to see that it wasn't a mistake.
Yes.
And I lived to see. And I said, God, I'm thankful for you to take my sister. But I see what could have happened. She was a single parent herself over there, who would be able to manage.
Right.
And you bring the children here. And the last one was able, my little Sandy was able to send her to to the
University,
college.
yes.
Yes, they also went to college.
Mhm.
Became a teacher,
Mhm.
teacher. And
Yes.
all of them came out.
Yes.
And they went on their own, and they still leave it with the boys. And
Yes.
it was the boys were here. When they came here, they were 2 years and 3 months.
We know them as Bigger and
And
Wingy.
bigger and Wingy.
Andrew and Andre.
Andrew and Andre.
Right.
And Andre is still here 29 years old. But I'm thankful
Yes.
that they're not the best, but they were not in any trouble. And I know if they were back over Walton Park Road, maybe there would be a pain
Yes.
in my heart.
Yes. Yes.
So I know that don't care what is happening,
Right.
God knows best. And sometimes when we see these things happen, we
Right.
may feel away, but have it in our heart, God knows best.
Right. So your faith was challenged when you
Yes.
lost your sister,
Yes.
and the 5 children came plus your 3. The financial issues of the emotions of being a single mother of 8 children.
Yes.
But you're saying that God has restored your faith, and one way to do it was through the sisters, praying and encouraging you.
And God sends help from unexpected sources.
Okay, explain that.
One lady that I used to do a little flowers for, like in the early morning,
Yes.
I would go and meet. She work at her office, and she's a florist, but she just work at her office. If a person's birthday or something, she would get an order and make it up in the night and take it back to work. After a while, she may get 3 or 4 orders. When I leave work, I went and I would do it for her. And when she understood the problems that I was in financial and how everything worked, she got me into the church's credit union.
Right.
And in the church's credit union, if you have X, you get X on it. If you have $1,000, you can get 1,000 to borrow on it.
Yes.
And it was so that they were known, she and her sister were known in the credit union.
Right.
And so they could stand. They have money that could stand up.
Right.
So
you
although
got
my
help.
owners could give me 1-to-1,
Yeah.
then I ready for money, they would get either 3 or 4 times. With their backing, their own backing,
Yeah.
I could get that. And I found that I could send Sandy to university.
Wow.
So I get a cash, and
Wow.
I have the other little children, and things start to get better and better. And
Wow.
I recognize that whatever the situations are, God already has the answer to each one.
Right.
You just have to bear on and look to God. It won't be easy sailing, but when you hold on to Him and trust Him, you do not know from whence it came. It came in unexpected ways.
Wow.
I can attest to that. I said, how did I get to go and do flower with this little lady? Just few hours a night.
Right.
And they are my backbone in helping me so much financially.
Right.
And people used to think, and sometimes they would come to check if there's anybody. In the hours of night,
Yes.
a sister also would come to call if there's anybody here. Because was amazing. Children going to university and all, it was busy with just a little floral arrangement.
Right. And a florist.
But they do not know how these monies came.
Right.
These monies were lent to me. I went through a partner, and when you get the partner, you put it back in the credit union, and that's how it was.
So you learn to manage the money.
Yes.
Wow.
But
So.
it was from these people who taught me. So God put people with you to help you. So when you are in distress, God knows, and if you look to Him, you are surprised the different ways that He will work into your life so that you can sail. People will wonder how you keep afloat, but it's just trusting in God, even through the hard times.
Oh, that's amazing, Sister Foster. So if I'm hearing you well, the idea of looking to God for help and understanding that He uses unexpected ways and people to help you.
Yes.
So just being sensitive to that and even being humble enough to receive the help.
Yes.
And God uses these things to restore your faith because you're no longer angry with Him.
Yes.
Now you understand looking back
Yes.
why those children had to be with you. What do you say now to somebody who is struggling in their faith? Maybe they've had a hard time. Maybe they think that God has forgotten them. Maybe they've suffered loss, suffered pain, and their faith is wavering and in need of strengthening or restoration. What would you say to them to encourage that person in their faith?
It is that you will go through that for a period.
Right.
You will start to doubt God, but don't stay down. Don't stay down in that period of doubting. Turn around. Stare God in his face. God, what do you want from me? What do you want from me? Should I be happy in this situation? And you're going to answer yourself, no. But you will hear the voice of God. You will be able to see, just trust him. You will live to see, just trust him. So you are going to be in it, but you are going to ask yourself first, and then you are going to talk with God.
Yes.
You are going to ask yourself, why is it that it happened to me? And then you are going to ask God, why did you let this happen to me? I really knew. Do not stay down in that hatred for God. Do not stay down in it. Turn to God. Ask him to help you to see it through. Ask him, look to him and trust him. Seek someone who is strong in the faith.
Right.
Well, that is who helped me along.
Right.
My sisters, one or two sisters around here,
Right.
they helped me by counseling me and by stretching a right hand and not the left hand used.
Right. Wow. So that day of depending on God and praying and then spending time with God and just reminding ourselves that he will never leave us nor forsake us. That really help us. Would you say?
Yes, but it is not a one-off thing. You will go through the water again, and you will go through the flood
again.
But remember how he came through. Amidst the hard times, he came through. Remember. And when you are going through the hard times again, remember, he's the same God of yesterday, today, and forever. And he will come through again.
And would you say that as the Lord has restored your faith, would you say that you're stronger because of it? You're wiser? Would you say that?
I am wiser and I am stronger. I find that I am growing in the things of God.
Right.
And mainly of the rough times that I have gone through and the miracles that he has wrought to get me out.
Right.
I am stronger and I know that it is not a finished job.
Right.
You will always go through these rough times, but his promises are true. And in all that is going on, he said he is there with us.
Right.
And to know that God is there, don't care what is going on, you just trust him continually.
Amen. Amen. So thank you so much for sharing with us. We even got into how he provided his house miraculously, but maybe another time. Do me a favor, Miss Foster. People may be watching who are struggling, who may feel weak in faith. Please come up, just pray for such a person, asking God's help, asking God to restore their faith and their strength as it did with you, restore their hope in him. Just pray for them as we close, please.
Almighty God, everlasting Father, you are such a good God to us. And yet, when we go through a little test, we forget you altogether. We think of saying at all times that we are just flesh and blood. We forget that we are spirit, that you are there with us. Your word is true. And you say when we go through the waters, you are there. When we go through the flood, you are there. But God, those are words from our lips. We pray today, God, that as we would say these words, that we would repeat them. And as we repeat them, they would sink further and further in our heart.
Yes, Lord.
Pray that anyone out there who is going through a rocky time and is thinking that God doesn't know or God is not hearing the prayer, to remember that God is here and God is with them. But God does his thing in his own time. And we are to remember when we read the scriptures, remember some of those old men and how they went through terrible times and hard times, but they trust God and the miracles that they came through. And so we are asking anyone out there, it is not easy, but trust God. Hold on to God. Remember the Red Sea parting. Whatever seems to be hard and impossible with us, it is possible with God.
Yes, Lord.
But it will be in his time. Hold on 1 minute more, just 1 moment more, and see the great hand of God. I can say this, I have been through it, and hundreds of us have been through it. But we have seen God's hand. We have seen how he has lifted us up, and we are encouraging you that he will lift you up too. Keep trusting him. Thank you.
Amen. Thank you for joining us again for another episode in Restoration Stories. We saw where God has just restored our sister's faith, and he will do it for you, do it for me. The gospel says, Jesus says, because he lived, we shall also live. God bless you. Thank you for joining us. See you soon. Another Restoration Story. Bye-bye. Thank you, Mr. Foster.